Hey guys, this is Sapphire Yagami, and this is my review on Once Upon a Time Season 2, Episode 21, titled, oh, I'm sorry, I just have a really stuffy nose today. Second star to the right, character backstory is Bayfire. So we have Emma, Mary Margaret, and Dave are going search for Regina when they realize that she is missing. Uh, because they went to first to go find her to confront her about the magic beans, but when they got to our office, they realized something was wrong. The magic beans was gone, and they know Regina enough to know that she wouldn't leave just the stalk part, of the beans behind, and she wouldn't have to use the system override to go into her office. So that leaves Emma to go back to her first choice of saying it was tomorrow. So she go back and checks tomorrow's apartment. Neil and she gets into a conversation with Neil about still going on about tomorrow and everything. And he kind of and they get into this confession moment of, that he loves her and whatnot, and shouldn't have left her, and he wanted to go to jail for her and stuff like that. And Tamara comes out of nowhere on the beach and says she normally runs to walk the woods, but she's stranded on the beach. She's pretty much trying to throw him off. So Mary Margaret and David, they go to Mr. Gold, who's pretty much chilling with Lacey, get drinking and stuff, asking for his help. Bastilson has a tear from Regina, and then he combines it with a tear from Mary Margaret, and then Charming goes and puts it into her eyes so she could see, pretty much she'll be able to see and feel what Regina is. So as soon as she puts the thing, it's a little bit of delay, like she didn't feel it, and all of a sudden she got this intense amount of rush of pain that just coursed through her, and she could feel what Regina was in pain and everything. And then she told David that she smelt sardines, so that leads Emma and Neil to the docks. So she tells Mary Margaret and David to meet her down there. They are both down there. Mary Margaret and David go search the basement while Neil and Emma search the first floor. Tomorrow, obviously, they have cameras sitting up. So she's like, I'm gonna tell us I want to meet you at the rendezvous point because they're sitting there torturing Regina. I'm like, really? With electric shock. So Tamara leaves along with the trigger and the magic beans. She then knocks Emma in the head with like a shovel, and then she goes and shoots Neil. Then her and Emma is scrapping, like their heads fighting as a girl fight. Then when Emma gets the upper hand, Tamara throws a magic bean, thus opening a portal. It almost sucks Emma in, but Neil gets her out the way, and then Neil is sucked in through the magic bean, and while he's being sucked in, she's like, I love you. He's like, I love you too. And my only thought was like, oh my goodness, no, Tamara did not just do this to Neil. Because my whole thought was just thinking, my whole thought while that scene was happening, I was like, Rumpelstiltskin is gonna be pissed. I mean, cause Rumpelstiltskin just got his son back. You telling me he done lost his child again? If Rumpelstiltskin found out, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be pissed. And he's probably gonna work Tamara's heart out himself. He's gonna be pissed. I'm like, that's all I can think of. Oh, Rumpelstiltskin's gonna be pissed. She just pissed off the Dark One. He just got his kid back. Are you serious? Oh, he is not gonna like this. So then Neil's missing. Then Emma goes back to Mary Margaret and David, who has Regina now, having Mother Superior heal up. They took the bracelet off, so she just needs some rest, and she'll magic return to her. So Emma's trying to figure out how she's gonna tell Henry that he just lost his father, and uh, Mary Margaret and David talk to Regina about the trigger. She pretty much explains the trigger that was in place in the curse, and that the fact that is no longer in her control and is now in these hands of these two people who is pretty much trying to get rid of magic because not Neil, Owen told Regina that after he left Storybrooke, and as a kid, people just thought he was crazy and he was going through some kind of experience, but there's people who believed him, and apparently, I'm guessing these group of people are pretty much going around killing anything that has magic because apparently it does not belong in our world and is unholy. So as they said that, I started to think about like I was like, when they said that, I was like, okay, they said they've been doing this year, destroying places that has magic that come in. So, given certain fairy tales that probably are in this world, they probably destroyed a lot of magic that has been introduced into the world. I've been trying to think of fairy tales that probably been introduced to this world. They probably killed Peter Pan because within this episode we have a flashback of Bedfire, who it takes place right after the portals open and Rumpelstiltskin lets him go. He ends up in 19th century London, and he's taken in. He pretty much like a little ragamuffin, and he comes into this house and he gets some bread. For some reason, with every time is in these sort of period events, it's always bread, and it's always like the thing to eat. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm guessing bread was like a real hot commodity because even in the movie Les Mis, he goes to jail for John Valjean goes to jail for stealing some bread. I'm like, bread must have been like the stuff back in the day. You stole some bread, it was like stealing 100 grand. I'm guessing. I'm like, he just stole some bread. Is that serious? It's just bread. It's just bread. Okay, but yeah. And then he ends up meeting Wendy Darling. She's a proper young lady. And then she ends up pretty much hiding him in this like little cupboard in her room. At least it wasn't a cupboard on the stairs, because then that would have been a Harry Potter reference. But then her parents end up finding out. Now, if Wendy was in the amount of times that she had a boy up in her room, her parents would have told her frame they would tell all the white meat off the bone. I'm sorry. But anyway, Mrs. Darling, she decided to let the boy stay, so he pretty much becomes a part of the family. And then she talks to him one night about the shadow that comes. So then she goes off with the shadow, and she returns back the normal morning, and says that the shadow didn't want her because, one, she's a girl. So I'm like, okay, you sexist shadow. Two, it only wants the boys because it's called Neverland for a reason. Once a child footsteps onto that soil, they're not allowed to return. So I'm like, okay, this shadow kind of creepy. I'm like, okay, where the heck is Peter Pan? Because from what I know from the story of Peter Pan, from what I've seen from the Disney film, is that that's Peter Pan's shadow. Sometimes it gets away and causes mischief and stuff. Then Peter Pan gets it back, and he hangs around taking a bath, whatnot. Obviously, this takes a whole different darker tone. So now I'm wondering, due to what I said earlier about Owen and Tamara saying they've been killing creatures, my thing is, did they kill Peter Pan and all that's left is his shadow, and so that's why the shadow's like so mean? Did they kill Peter Pan? Did they kill a little kid who could fly? I'm seriously thinking they killed Peter Pan, so that's all that's left is his shadow. I'm seriously thinking that's what happened. That's my theory of what happened. They killed Peter Pan, so that's all that's left is shadow, and shadow's all ticked off, so it just takes the boys and stuff. That's what I'm guessing. That's my theory on the whole thing. And so, my nose is so stuffy. So that was the incident with Bayfire. Oh Lord, this episode just had me like WTF. They was torturing Regina with like therapy. Tamara and Owen, I just want to like, oh my god, I want to do like Rumpelstiltskin and like rip their heart out and crush it. But that was just interesting. I really do, in terms of how Once Upon a Time takes these stories that we all know is I like all the twists they do with the fairy tales. We all know the fairy tale. Majority of them we know because of Disney. Almost every single Disney film is either most likely a Grimm fairy tale or Little Mermaid's Hans Christensen, actually. And yeah, pretty much all of them have been Grimm fairy tales. Even though the original storyline of them is pretty much I wouldn't recommend your child to read it. If you read some of the stories, the real stories like Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, Snow White, I was like, when I first read the original, I was like, whoa, that's not the Disney version I saw. But yeah, overall, this episode was pretty interesting. It makes you hate Tamara and Owen even more. You feel bad for Regina. And you're kind of wondering, oh my god, what is going to happen? Because now they have this trigger. Obviously, their mission is to pretty much go to phase. I think they say phase 2. It's pretty much destroy Storybrooke, and we know what this thing is gonna. We know what this trigger is gonna pretty much kill everybody that's inside this town. I'm like, Really? Oh my goodness. So now the question is, how are they gonna get off? How are they gonna get out of Storybrooke? Because they have no magic bean, so it's not like they can, crack. Unless there's one magic bean left. Because tomorrow Regina had 2 magic beans. Tomorrow already threw one. So if they could get that second magic bean from tomorrow, then maybe they could save everybody. But I'm not sure. Can everybody jump in a portal at once? I don't know. Questions that need to be answered. And hopefully Neil did not die, because we know he went to a party. So obviously we know there's other worlds. And you remember that episode with the Mad Hatter, and he goes to the portal with the hat. We saw these worlds. So hopefully he is just transferred to another world, which would be hopefully a plot line somewhat in season 3. So that's what I'm guessing they're gonna go with Neil's disappearance. But overall, this episode was good. It's titled Second Star to the Right. It's the 21st episode of this second season of Once Upon a Time. Character backstory again is Bellfire, and the last episode will be the season finale on of Once Upon a Time. Season 2 is titled "And Straight Onto Morning," which is pretty much another reference to to Neverland, and we're probably gonna see more of Bellfire once he is actually in Neverland, because he goes and pretty much sacrifices himself, so Wendy Darling wouldn't have to lose her brothers and their family wouldn't have to be broken up. And he ends up getting on the show with Captain Hook. So this is going to be interesting, very interesting. Let's see. The characters that's supposed to be in this season finale is supposed to be Mary Margaret, Emma Swan, Regina, David, Belle, Henry, Hook, Mr. Gold, Leroy, Aurora, Mulan. Yeah, we haven't seen those 2 in a while. We're going to have Granny, Greg, Mara, Prince Philip, Neil, Archie, Bellfire, and Felix. So this is going to be a really good season. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.